Jammu Kashmir Study Center is actually a think tank. It is a place, a platform where all the voices which have always been silent are heard today. It is a platform that brings people from across the country who have a same ideology to bring the voice of Kashmir to the last person in India. So a part of Jammu Kashmir Conclave, today we have Mr. Annamalai ji, and let's start the show. So we're celebrating Kargil, Vijay Diwas, 25 years of the war. I'd like to know what were you doing at that time and 25 years ago, and what were your thoughts when you heard about the war?
Madam, thank you so much for having me here, but more importantly, thank you to the Jammu and Kashmir Study Center. They have brought all of us together on one stage. One end we have the Veer Naris, even 25 years later. When they all, four of them climbed up the stage, they all had a bit of tears in their eyes. Anybody watching them could see what it means to them. And they are doing this every year for 25 years. People call them. They stand before such a big gathering. And I'm sure they're not doing it for themselves, madam, that we have to understand. Every time they stand here, they're trying to inspire one or two boys among this group or one or two girls among this group, so that they painfully understand that the price of freedom is slightly very big. It is not that easy. And thank all the Veer Naris for coming here and doing this every year. And every year it's a painful reminder for them also, because the children are growing up very fast. And we had very distinguished eminent gentlemen and women here, people who do different things in life. They all have chosen to come here. But more importantly, the glue that has bound us all, the Jammu and Kashmir Study Center. I always say, ma'am, when politicians make a mistake, the common man pays, many cases the soldier pays. Jammu and Kashmir is that kind of a story. When somebody is tracking that state for the last 70 years, 75 years, what happened during the independence, pre-independence, post-independence, the phases Jammu and Kashmir went through, the rise of militancy, and our brave soldiers fighting a fight for us every single day there at the border. Because more than any other profession, it is the soldier. He never knows where the next bullet is going to come. And most of us with a certain probability can say we might not die for a certain time. But for a soldier, there is no probability, because it's a second, it is always there, the war is always looming. And you have two powerful neighbors, Pakistan and China, on two sides of India, and any time you're getting ready for a two-pronged attack. So the younger generation, especially such a big hall, thousands of children just graduating. For them it is very important that what is happening today in CMR, this institution, it is very important to them. Because this is the kind of moments I still remember when I was their age. Madam Kiran Bedi was in my college. And it was a similar event where she was speaking. I still vividly remember what she spoke and the kind of inspiration all of us got. I'm very sure the students here, with all the eminent speakers who spoke today in CMR, this institution, it is very important to them. Because this is the kind of moments I still remember when I was their age. Madam Kiran Bedi was in my college. And it was a similar event where she was speaking. I still vividly remember what she spoke and the kind of inspiration all of us got. I'm very sure the students here, with all the eminent speakers who spoke and the Veer Naris who are physically present, they get inspired today, because they will really believe there is something beyond their personal ego. When they graduate from CMR, they look forward to a grand stage where their talents are put to better use. Of course, making money is one, serving the society is another, and writing up a lot of historical wrongs is one. I'm sure this is that kind of an event, madam. For me, if you ask me where exactly I was in 99, May, June, July, that is the time I was in my 9th class, like my age group, somebody here. But this is a war, unlike many wars. The first time you saw it live. The Kargil war is very famous for the reason you saw it live. And every day the TV carried what is happening. And previous wars, you just read in a newspaper story. And probably it might come 1 day later, or 2 days later, or 3 days later. Peak of satellite channels. And you clearly know what is happening. And any martyred soldier coming back, the whole nation standing up, respecting them. So I don't think India before 1999 had a real-time version of what a war is. And we also got to understand during the 3 months, looking at television, looking at papers, the kind of price we as a nation are paying. Because you just had a Pokhran, then straight away Vijay Diwas, 2 turbulent years. And more importantly, this is a war which you always felt, this war was thrust on us. Because this is a war where the enemy cunningly entered our territory, took all the vantage positions. Unlike a war where both of us fight on equal terms, this is a war we knew that any soldier at the first point of time is getting into that war zone. The enemy has got a vantage point. We are there just to sacrifice our lives. It is that kind of war. And fighting through that war and neutralizing the enemy, getting that vantage position back, And every single inch we gained, unlike some of the previous wars where we were by different powers. 1948, the United Nations intervened. 1961-62, the global powers intervened. But this is a war, our soldiers made sure every single inch of soil was got back to our country. And that is why this war is very special to all of us. Because one, you saw it live, you know the kind of sacrifice the army soldiers they are paying. And more importantly, I believe the respect for the army went up multiple notches. I always believe a country which doesn't respect its soldiers, that country is inevitably doomed to fail. And when I came in, people are cheering loudly, happily. It is all okay because we do some small work here and there and probably they feel happy that what we do resonates with them. But I believe when Senthil Kumar ji spoke, through camera, he's telling us a story of nationalism. That is very important. I think that is why you have called him. And all the cinematography that he has done through camera is filling you. You brought the former chief secretary here. It is impossible, in the current government setup for a civil servant, 35, 37 years in his long journey, retiring with the word called integrity attached to them, retiring with the word called public service attached to them, because anybody can take a shortcut. That when you are chief secretary, they must be managing budgets of 250,000 crore and giving contracts worth thousands and thousands of crore. And sitting there displaying integrity and leaving that job. So it is a lesson for all the kids here. That is also a way to serve the country. Because at the end of the day, what do the soldiers see, madam? They are on the border. And they expect all of us to behave proper human beings. The soldiers expect all of us to behave with proper integrity. The soldiers expect all of us to stand behind them when the need comes. That is the only price a soldier is expecting. Nothing else is expected. Because normally we celebrate martyred soldiers, rightly so. That is very important. All the martyred soldiers we celebrate because their spirit has to live on. But we also have to understand, a soldier, the family pays a price. Man is a social animal. You take a man outside the family, you put him in a border area for 6 months, 1 year, with a 30-day leave every year. Just look at the mental trauma a person goes through. That is why 99% of civilians, normally they don't want to go through that grind. And many officers and many jawans and sepoys, when they serve an army, they voluntarily, willingly go through it. It is not that easy, madam. You are away from your, you don't even know what is happening back home. And I still remember when I was a SP, especially in Chikmagalur, so a lot of army soldiers were serving. We used to get letters after letters from their officers because they have a family problem, they have a land dispute, and somebody wants to take care of their father, and they keep writing letters because they can't come and see. So we have to understand, the army, anybody who is serving, anybody who has served, anybody who has given their life, they go through something which a normal human being is not willing to go through. That we have to appreciate. And second, your mind is always in a trauma. That when you are serving in the border area, you just don't know when there is a mood for war, when the next bullet is going to fly. That is why I'm extremely delighted and happy. At this age, they are the formative age, 21, 22, 23, they have thousands of choices before them. And these kids in the next 2 years, literally they have thousands of choices, from startup to civil service to army to going abroad for studies, being in the country and studying, getting into politics, thousands of choices. Now, this kind of events help these kids to make a wise choice. That is why it is important that all the eminent people have come, then people like me also get an opportunity to express my thoughts because they make a wise choice. Now is the time they make a real play between money and prestige and service and what path they have to take, so they have to stick on to the next 35, 40 years. So this war is very etched in our memory. And I remember as students, we were collecting funds for Kargil. We all used to carry the small, in Tamil we call undiyal, and hundi. I remember as a school student that we all stood in the street, went from shop to shop, collected that money. Then from the school we mobilized all that money, gave it to the collector. The collector was kind enough to come, collected that money. The memory that stands. But more importantly, the pride and respect for a person in uniform. Maybe that could also be a motivation for me also get into a different uniform service. But unlike them, their sacrifice is so high. So that is why today is a day we bow down to them, we pay our respects to them, especially to the Nari Shaktis after 25 years. Still, every time you bring them, the tears come out, the children have grown, and somebody who just got married, husband into war, somebody, child was small, now the child is growing up without a father. So I bow down my head to all of them. I hope and pray the students who have come here, and this 3 or 4 hours, whatever has happened now, you take it to your heart, capture it somewhere and store it in your heart. Every day this will not happen, madam. Tomorrow this is not going to happen. Next week not going to happen. So you got to find a way to bottle this emotion in your heart. Just keep it. And every time you have a bad day, just remember there is somebody in the border who's having a worse day than you. And every time you believe life is not fair to you, just remember there is somebody standing in the border for whom the life is also not fair. Because many a time they eat chocolates at minus 40 degrees Celsius. You do a helicopter drop. Even for a tea, they have to take up ice and just brew that tea and drink it. And like you and me, they can't even afford a proper meal. People who are serving in the high altitude area. So just bottle that emotion up. This spirit, the moment that all of our hairs are edged up, when we all standing up, we all felt a genuine sense of pride, patriotism. If you can bottle it up and every day keep remembering, this is what my country is. There is somebody out there who's sacrificing for me to live a good life. Then we become better individuals. I remember Abdul Kalam ji in European Union Parliament, he said, when a person at the individual family level is good, the family becomes better. Then the peace and harmony starts coming to the society. When the society becomes better, the country starts becoming better and better. Then you get a global world. So everything, the beginning is an individual. I hope and pray this kind of events today, what happened, it gives that spirit to that individual. Sorry for the long answer for a straightforward question, but I thought today is not about me. I think it is about the great people who are here, because thousands of people, we all do small work here. I still believe that spirit should get bottled up. That should not get lost a week from now or a month from now.
Right.